Ever wondered what separates a furry koala from a scaly crocodile? They're both animals, right? But the differences between mammals and reptiles are like night and day, and they tell an incredible story of evolution and survival. Today, we're diving deep into the animal kingdom to uncover what truly sets these two amazing classes apart. We'll explore everything from their skin and bones to how they raise their young. And stick around because we'll also look at why mammals, with their warm-blooded advantage, have conquered nearly every corner of the planet, from icy polar regions to scorching deserts. Plus, we'll even bring birds into the mix to see how they fit into this grand evolutionary puzzle. It's going to be a wild ride, so let's get started. So, mammals versus reptiles. What's the first thing that comes to mind? Probably fur and scales, right? And you'd be spot on. One of the most obvious differences is their skin. Mammals are the only animals that have true hair or fur. This isn't just for looking good. It's a super efficient insulator that helps us maintain a constant internal body temperature. Think about a polar bear's thick coat or an otter's dense waterproof fur. This covering is crucial for their survival. On the other hand, reptiles are covered in scales made of keratin, the same stuff our fingernails are made of. These scales are fantastic for protection against predators and preventing water loss, which is why reptiles are so successful in dry environments. But they don't provide much in the way of insulation. This fundamental difference in skin covering is directly linked to one of the biggest distinctions of all: how they control their body heat. This brings us to the concept of being warm-blooded versus cold-blooded. Mammals are endotherms, or warm-blooded. This means we generate our own heat internally through metabolic processes. We burn the food we eat to keep our bodies at a steady, warm temperature, usually around 37 degrees Celsius or 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit for humans. This allows us to be active anytime, day or night, regardless of the outside temperature. Whether it's a snowy day or a chilly evening, a wolf can still hunt. Reptiles, however, are ectotherms or cold-blooded. They rely on external sources of heat, like the sun, to warm up their bodies. That's why you often see lizards basking on a rock in the morning. They're essentially solar charging their bodies to get enough energy to move around and hunt. When it gets too cold, they become sluggish and have to find a warm place to hide. This reliance on the environment is a major limitation for reptiles. Let's talk about the next generation. How mammals and reptiles reproduce is another key area of difference. The vast majority of mammals give birth to live young. Inside the mother, the developing baby is nourished through a placenta, an amazing organ that connects the baby to the mother's blood supply, providing oxygen and nutrients. After birth, the mother produces milk from mammary glands. That's actually where the name mammal comes from. This milk is a superfood, packed with everything a newborn needs to grow strong. This intensive parental care gives mammalian offspring a great head start in life. Reptiles, for the most part, lay eggs. These eggs are typically leathery or have a hard shell, which protects the embryo inside. The yolk within the egg provides all the nutrients the baby reptile needs until it's ready to hatch. Once they hatch, most young reptiles are on their own, fully equipped with the instincts to survive. There are exceptions, of course, like crocodiles who fiercely protect their nests and young. Now let's look inside and see how their hearts and lungs differ. Both are vital for survival, but they're built differently. Mammals have a highly efficient four-chambered heart. This design completely separates oxygen-rich blood from oxygen-poor blood. One side of the heart pumps blood to the lungs to pick up oxygen, and the other side pumps that freshly oxygenated blood to the rest of the body. This system is incredibly effective at delivering oxygen, which fuels our high-energy, warm-blooded lifestyle. Most reptiles, on the other hand, have a three-chambered heart. In this setup, there's a little bit of mixing between oxygen-rich and oxygen-poor blood. It's less efficient than a four-chambered heart, but works perfectly well for their slower, cold-blooded metabolism. Crocodilians are the interesting exception here. They actually have a four-chambered heart, a trait they share with their distant cousins, the birds. This leads us to one of the most fascinating topics: warm-blooded wonders and why they thrive. The ability to generate internal heat has allowed mammals to colonize habitats that are completely off-limits to most reptiles. Think about the Arctic fox in the freezing tundra or whales in the frigid depths of the ocean. Their endothermic metabolism acts like a personal furnace, keeping their bodies running optimally even when the world outside is frozen. This constant internal temperature also means their brains and muscles are always ready for action. They can hunt at night, migrate across continents, and stay active during winter. Reptiles, being tied to the sun's warmth, are most diverse and abundant in tropical and subtropical regions. In colder climates, they have to hibernate for long periods, essentially shutting down their bodies to survive the winter. So, while reptiles are masters of energy conservation, mammals are masters of energy expenditure, which has given them the key to unlock almost every environment on Earth. So where do birds fit into all of this? If you look at an evolutionary tree, you'll find something surprising. Birds are more closely related to crocodiles and dinosaurs than crocodiles are to lizards and snakes. Birds, like mammals, are warm-blooded. They also have a 4-chambered heart and incredibly efficient respiratory systems to power their high-energy lifestyle of flight. But they lay hard-shelled eggs and have scales on their legs, just like reptiles. This makes them a fascinating blend of traits. The story goes something like this. Millions of years ago, there was a common ancestor. One branch led to the synapsids, which eventually evolved into mammals. Another branch led to the sauropsids. This group then split again, with one line leading to modern reptiles like lizards, snakes, and turtles, and the other line leading to the archosaurs, which included dinosaurs, crocodiles, and eventually, birds. Yes, that's right, birds are essentially modern-day dinosaurs. This evolutionary journey shows that traits like being warm-blooded and having a 4-chambered heart evolved independently in both mammals and the bird-dinosaur lineage, a process called convergent evolution. To recap this epic evolutionary tale, mammals are defined by their fur, live birth, and milk production. Their warm-blooded nature, powered by a 4-chambered heart, allows them to be active and adaptable, conquering diverse environments across the globe. Reptiles, with their protective scales and cold-blooded metabolism, are masters of survival in warmer climates, conserving energy with their 3-chambered hearts and typically laying eggs. And birds? They are the living descendants of dinosaurs, sharing a reptilian heritage but having independently evolved warm-bloodedness and flight, carving out their own unique place in the animal kingdom. Each class has its own incredible set of adaptations that have allowed them to survive and thrive for millions of years. The world is filled with these amazing creatures, each telling a part of life's grand story. From the smallest shrew to the largest blue whale, from a tiny gecko to a giant saltwater crocodile, the diversity is simply breathtaking. Understanding these differences doesn't just satisfy our curiosity, it helps us appreciate the incredible complexity of life and the different strategies that have led to success on our planet. Every animal is a masterpiece of evolution, perfectly suited to its way of life. So next time you see a dog playing in the snow or a lizard sunning itself on a fence, you'll have a deeper appreciation for the amazing biological machinery at work. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through the animal kingdom. I hope you found it as fascinating as I do. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more deep dives into the wonders of the natural world. Let me know in the comments which animal class you'd like to explore next. Until then, stay curious.